Do you know, you don't need a lot of stuff to create something. This is an old piece of plastic that's left from some of the parts that came with the old golf cart. I'm not even sure what it's at. So anyway, what I've done is I just took my soldering iron and I just carved a little hole right here, and then I just cleaned it up with a sharp edge, in this case, pair of scissors. And now I have a mounting bracket for our USB and USB-C charger ports. And I'm just going to mount that now on the dash. Hopefully I'll be able to show you now in one video. So just tighten this guy in the back. My son says that there's never enough USB ports on the golf course. So anyway, there it is. USB-C. And I'll show you now where we're going to mount it. It's over here on the cart. I'll just lower it down a little bit. We're going to put it in here next to our voltage gauge. So it's going to go in there. I'm going to move the voltage gauge up just a little bit, and it's going to go right there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. Now, the only thing about this is 12 volt. So we got to get a feed off our light control circuit right here. So we got to open this panel up. And first things first, we'll open up this hood here. We'll disconnect our battery on the main circuit breaker. So we got no juice on that. Now I'll mount you guys about right here. Okay, so let's give this a little go. Handy dandy bicycle tool wrench. Works like a charm. Now the new headlight system in this, we're using it off our converter because the voltage for the headlights, and a lot of the kits are like it, they're 12 volt. So I just bought the 12 volt kit because we already had the inverter bought anyway. And again, remember to disconnect your voltage before you do anything. And I should unplug the charger too. I actually got the cart sold. Gentleman just bought it. So I'm just finishing up a couple of little jobs here now. So I'm just going to disconnect the charger too, because I had it on charge, make sure it's fully charged to give it to the gentleman. Now let's have a look, see what we got. I sort of know what we got because I'm after having this part a dozen times over the course of fixing her up and checking things over. And so right here, I know that on this light circuit, I got 12 volts right here. That's red positive, black negative, and they just plug in. So what we're going to do now is just make up a set of crimps that'll come out to our little pre-existing drilled hole that we already have there. And that's going to come out and power up our USB port. So we'll have to make up a couple of little cables here, nothing serious. We'll just use our handy dandy crimps and crimpers. I'll bring you back over to the bench here. Make you a bit taller. There you go. So now, soldering iron's on the cool down, There we go. Clean off our tip because we had some plastic on it. Okay. Now, I did have wiring. Oh, here's the wiring here for that. Okay. So this goes out to our USB-C charger, these two wires. What's this here? Is this some sort of fuse? Oh, so it is a little fuse. Okay, we'll leave that on it. It's a safety device. Actually, no, we don't need that because that circuit's already fused back at the fuse block at 10 amps. And if this does short, it'll easily trip 10 amps, so we should be good. All you gotta make sure is that your wire can handle 10 amps, and I know that this stuff can. Oh, I'm just gonna grab a better set of wire strippers. And again, when I'm crimping wires, I like to have a little bit extra so I can see that it comes out of the crimp. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but you don't want any bad connections. And let me think what kind of connection I'm gonna need on that. So that one goes in, that one come out. Yeah, I'm gonna need a spade on this one. So wire in, you can just see the tip of it there. You always crimp on the back edge. I've already done a video on that. So you just put it into your crimpers. Make sure your little wire's sticking out there. Oh, beauty, yeah, really nice. Give her a little crimp. You can see the indent then in the back of your crimps. Perfect, yeah, okay, we're good. Nice and solid, okay. Do the same thing now for this one. Beauty, okay. And now we just got to make up crimp for black, crimp for white. That'll join these in. I hit the garage door open it. I took it out of the cart now because if I forget it, that's not good. And we'll do the same thing for black. So all we got is a little pigtail that'll plug into our existing connection, then go to our two devices, the light switch and the USB port thing here. I'll show you now how this is all going to work in a minute. Once I learn how to use CapCut, which I'm trying in process now, I'll edit out some of this and I'll speed it up. Maybe that's what I'll try in this video. Because you guys won't know the difference then. I always like to tug on the connections after just to make sure they're nice and tight. With electricity, the main thing, tight connections. And again, if you want to do an ultimate job, after you crimp, throw a little bit of solder on it. Okay, so let's move back over here. Drop you down a bit, down another little bit. So I already got a little hole drilled here, and actually I'm changing out this meter because I don't like it. I got a voltage one coming that shows you the actual voltage reading, which I prefer. So maybe I'm just gonna undo this one for now. I don't have that yet. It's coming on Amazon now in a minute. It says it's out for delivery. So we got our little hole there. Oh, let's see now if we can fit that in true. There we go. And this guy. Black. So we take our little pigtail we made up. Black. And then The spade goes into our black coming up, which is this guy. And tighten it up a little bit. Nice and tight. And I would do the same thing with the red. I just like put a little bit of tape over them to make sure none of our connections are exposed, because this card's going to be bouncing around, jumping up and down. We don't want any of this to touch anything metal, cause an unnecessary short. And sometimes you can have little wires stick out. You might miss one because some of these wires are pretty tiny. They're all stranded, so like a little strand could slip out too. You should avoid that at all costs, though, as that limits the carrying capacity of the wire. Now, we'll plug that back into our light switch. Now, I just got to refer back to the wiring diagram because I should have checked. I can't remember now which one is positive or earth ground. Purple. The little lights on the bottom, ground's on the bottom. Okay. Okay, good connection there. Now, I'm just going to insulate this from the car for now. That's all taped up, that's all good. Now, in behind there, there's some wiring for the ignition and stuff like that. I'll just lay it there temporarily for now. And I'm just going to flick. I'm going to put that back in. I'm going to put our USB port on just to make sure everything's working. Geez, that's interesting. This device, and again, maybe this is common in DC. I haven't worked a lot with DC, but the positive is shiny. Usually in AC, if it's shiny, that means it's neutral, and that one would be hot. But here, that's negative, and that's positive. Interesting. I'll have to make a note of that going forward. Okay, so that's all hooked up. Now, I'm just going to flick the power back on, and we'll see if that's working. Ho, ho, whoa. I got it upside down. I'll just loosen it off a little bit. And now I got it so that it only comes on with the key switch. So we'll turn on the key switch. Oh, there we go. Lights in it. She's good to go. So anyway, I'm going to tidy all this up, put it all back together. But anyway, there's our USB charge port installation.